My name is Paul Stevens. Welcome to today's towing tip.
All right, so what we basically have here is kind of a setup to offset the load on the tow pin. Tow pin allows 15-degree angle in any direction, right? Any more than that, you can start compromising the metal and put a fatigue into it and a slight bend or a bow or something. So the goal is to keep it as straight as we can. And you know, with the winches mounted in the center of the truck, that becomes a problem because the closer you get to the top, the more pull you put on the tow pin. And as you're putting pull on the tow pin, you're trying to exceed that 15 degrees. Now you're trying to kind of bend it and rip it out of the front of the car. So what we set up here is an easy way to eliminate that whole kind of fatigue and side loading on the pin. The challenge here is that, you know, as you get closer to the top, you have to pay attention to, you know, how close you're getting, and also you have to pay attention to your winch cable can start to bunch up on one side, right? But when you let it off, of course, it lets it back out. What you don't want to do is get too much on one side and then jump over the drum. So, you know, basically what we have here is you have the tow pin in, it's seated all the way, nice and tight. The tow pin sits very close to the front of the bumper here. So if I put this snatch block, or if I put my winch hook into the end of the tow pin, it could fall down and hit the front of it and damage it. So the goal is to get it away from it. So if this goes slack, or if I let it slack while I'm on the truck, or if I'm letting it off and it goes slack, what will happen is this lead strap here will allow it to fall down and not hit the front of the bumper. The other part of this is that this takes some of that side load and absorption. So, you know, when you're trying to pull it up and you have it rigid to the cable, it's going to pull down and sideways and put kind of a yaw on the pin, right? But with the strap will absorb some of that. Snatch block, of course, you know, snatch block has two main purposes, and that's to change direction or to reduce line load. In this particular case, it's a change of direction for us because we're just trying to go back up to the corner. What we're essentially doing is formulating a V onto the tow pin, and we're going to bring it up in a straight line. So we're disconnecting our winch, putting our winch into this position right here, and it's a straight pull for us. That said, works really well. It's super smooth, and it takes about, you know, 3 or 4 minutes to set up. The goal here, like I said from the beginning, is to take the load off the pin, and this does a very good job of it.